Hey, welcome to the Todd and Debra Show. This is episode 11.
It's a show for geezers, and it's about geezers and done by geezers, but everybody's welcome to watch.
Yep.
Mostly, though, we talk about topics that are of interest to, folks like us. We're in our 60s. We're both 64, but we live in an apartment for senior citizens, and we have a lot of neighbors that are up in their 80s and 90s, and
Interesting
sometimes,
stories.
oh, wonderful stories. And
Interesting
these
lives.
folks are so lively, and we just love having them over for dinner and listening to them.
We're pretty boring compared to them sometimes.
We're pretty boring compared to anybody sometimes, a lot of the time. But the other night when our next door neighbor, as a matter of fact, was visiting, she happened to mention that her uncle was born during the presidency of Abraham Lincoln. And I laughed. I thought she was kidding. But she's explained no, because she was born in the 30s and he was still alive. In fact, he lived to be just a few months shy of being 100, which was kind of rare back then. And she mentioned that when she moved to California, the first time she went back to visit in Connecticut, where she grew up, her uncle said, "Now, when did you leave California in order to be here today?" And she said, "Oh, well, I left this morning. I flew out on an airplane." And he was like, "Oh." And I guess he had forgotten about that newfangled air flight stuff. And he said, "I don't think humans were meant to travel that fast." And
I think we are.
I think we are, yeah. But he was fearing what he didn't know. And my dad used to always say, we fear the unknown. Isn't that true in like all aspects of life? But especially, I think, when it comes to technology. And think about the technology he had seen in his lifetime with the Industrial Revolution and But how about in our lifetimes? We were thinking about our generation. I mean, color television was invented when we were already alive.
People forget that it's our generation that invented most of these things.
Well, there you go. Be proud. We invented the internet, right?
That's right.
Some folks in our generation. So some of us are pretty smart, by golly.
Smart. Some of us.
Yeah. But we want to share with you something that we find. It's one of those things like a microwave or a cell phone or something where you find yourself thinking, how did we survive before we knew about this? And we did, but it was a lot harder and took a lot more time. What I'm talking about is
YouTube how-tos.
See, he came up with a nickname for it. They are videos on YouTube that people do showing you how to do things. And it's not just a handful of things. It's like anything you can imagine.
Right.
Somebody has already done a video showing you how to do that. If you can log on to the internet, then you can use YouTube and the how-to videos there. Type in youtube.com. That's www.youtube.com.
And if you're lucky, you'll get our webpage.
This is our channel. Wouldn't that be great if everybody decided to make our channel their YouTube homepage?
More than likely, you'll just get the generic YouTube.
Yeah, but whatever you get, you'll have this search bar somewhere on there. So look for this. Type in your question. I typed in one of the first how-to video searches I remember doing years ago when we found out about this. What's the best way to clean hard water stains in the sink? I wanted to know. You click this little icon and boom, you get all these videos that tell you how to do that. Here's even a way to get them out of your toilet bowl. Wow. This one I notice has over 6 million views. So that's got to be at least a pretty good one. So
there's 6 million people with very clean sinks.
Spotless sinks. Everybody else, forget it. They've still got yucky sinks. Let's see what he says when we watch the video.
I took my dingy and disgusting kitchen faucet and turned it into this.
Whoa.
I'm going to show you how.
Looks like ours.
Here is my...
Good thing for a husband to say. You're right. Maybe not quite as clean as ours.
But you can use this for all different kinds of things. We've looked up how to trim your rose bushes. How do you change your light bulb in your refrigerator? And we've used it to, we went to Jiffy Lube once and they said I needed my cabin filter changed and they were going to charge us $60. And instead we bought the part, went on YouTube and said, how do you change the cabin filter in your 2009 Kia? And it showed us how to do it. And we did it in 10 minutes and it was done.
And when you do search for something like how to change the light bulb in your Whirlpool refrigerator, whatever, if you've got the part number, if you've got the model number of your refrigerator, you can put those things in. You'll get more specific results.
Right.
And man, it makes us wonder, how did we live before YouTube how-to videos?
We used the how-to books and for dummy books and things, but this is much quicker.
So it's going to save you loads of time. And
ask your grandkids to tell you how, if you're not sure, or if you don't have grandkids or kids that can help your library or your senior services, or sometimes even your local high school can get you the assistance you need.
The point is, technology really can be our friend.
YouTube.com.
Enjoy that search feature. One thing we want to talk about in the future is, what was it? Reminders. Electronic
Calendars.
Reminders. I've been using this man for I don't know how many decades now to be my reminder machine. But he's been using a brick and mortar calendar, I call it. A real calendar.
Hanging on the refrigerator door.
He still uses it. When's your doctor's appointment? I'll put it up here. But for me...
You always do it in pencil.
Oh, because Deborah's going to go change it. Is that why? He's right. But I learned not too long ago, it was maybe a couple of years back, that electronic devices like your smartphone or your tablet, or I guess your personal computer, but it's a lot easier when it's a portable thing that you've always got with you. You can tell it, you can set up, and we'll show them when we do a show on this, how to make it remind you about your doctor's appointments or luncheon dates. Or what was the other thing? Oh, some people have to take medications at certain times of the day. A friend was telling us recently, and that's why we showed her. You can set this up to come as often as you want and at times you want, intervals, daily, repeat or don't repeat or whatever. It's just a lifesaver.
Yeah.
And
we'll also teach you how to put things on a calendar.
On a brick and mortar calendar that hangs on your refrigerator. I can't wait to learn about that. I've always wanted to know how those work. So stay tuned. Thanks again for watching.